Kimi Räikkönen pin with him still in the vehicle, man, I
Oh,
would score
100%.
so hard on that.
No, if you're gonna get a Kimi one, it's like one of those ones where like the Yakuza ones I have where
Yeah.
when you flip it, like it takes something off, like he takes the jacket off.
Yep.
F1, talk to me F1 here, because I'm copywriting this right now. If F1 did pins like that, should be the driver helmets, and then when you flip it, it's the face and a quote on the back of the helmet.
It's just like
Yeah.
it turns
So you
into
get-
like a word bubble.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
you get the helmet design and you get the driver's face. And in Kimi's case, it could be I was taking a shit. That's why he didn't see the podium ceremony.
Or I don't know why I have fans.
Oh, that's good.
Ah,
Also,
Kimi.
Boston,
Hello, Fayror.
I have to ask.
Yeah. Yes,
why
can I
does
ask you
it
about
look
my
like
humidifier?
yeah, I'm wondering why you're hardcore vaping on stream.
I'm not
these days.
hotboxing this room except for the
Did your Xbox Series X catch on fire?
Heyo.
Hashtag don't vape into your Xbox.
No, I have a humidifier sitting like literally next to my head, giving me the delicious water vapors here.
He's just
You
got
can
that
come and
coil
take-
on 10 watts and it's just going.
Yep.
You can come and take some of our moisture if you want, dude.
They were just asked that in chat
It
too.
says the exact same thing.
Yep.
That's the CBD, the
Yep.
one that you just turn on the table.
Yeah,
and-
we're our special guest this week is Snoop Dogg
Yep.
and Martha Stewart.
No.
Oddly enough,
This is just how bad California has gotten. Hashtag no woke get broke.
that's right.
Dude,
This is
when I
what
was
they
at
want to take away from us. We were a proper country.
when I was at a store, I think like 2 weeks ago, I knew that Martha Stewart had a wine, and I knew that Snoop Dogg sold like a vodka or something.
Yeah.
They now have a twin pack for Martha Stewart's wine coming packed with Snoop Dogg's new wine line.
Yeah,
because
because they're like best friends for some
Oh,
reason.
yeah.
Super good friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I knew that. I just didn't know that they were both making wine, and now you can buy them in a 2-pack.
Oh
What
God.
a weird time we live in, man.
I'm sorry, but if Snoop Dogg's wine is not aged for 420 days, they're missing a fucking beat.
Yeah, exactly. Like you got to lean all the way into it.
Yeah, I mean, this is fucking Snoop Dogg we're talking about here. Everything has to be weed related.
That's right.
I mean, it might have CBD in it. I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
I
don't
did spot a Snoop Dogg T-shirt at Hot Topic, which was all about how he is the Snoop Doggy dog, and it was just a bunch of clouds.
Great. I like it.
Because yes, I went into a Hot Topic, and oh boy, has that place, based on similar stores from the UK, because we don't have a Hot Topic exactly, but similar kind of thing. Those stores have not changed since I was a child, and I
Yeah.
still
Oh,
like seeing all these.
My wife would disagree with you because they added more lights so you can actually see what you're purchasing before you walk out of the store.
That is a little bit of a bummer. Yeah.
They are maybe a little bit brighter, but it's still like one of those things of seeing all the goth and emo kids walking around. It's like, I was young and lack of hope like you want one day. Now I
That's
still
right.
have the lack of hope. I'm just not young anymore.
Lack of hope and arthritis. Picked up that along the way.
Mhm.
Oh man.
Ah, the friends we leave behind.
That's right. The friends and cartilage we left behind.
And then someone in the group started asking questions about goth kids, and I was like, "Don't make fun of goth kids.
That's
I
right.
was a goth kid.
Leave
still
us
am a goth
alone."
kid at heart. Like, there's a reason the Grinch is my favorite character when it comes to Christmas.
That's right.
Surprised it's not Jack Skellington.
Hmm.
See, I watched it when I was younger, but I never fell down that rabbit hole
Sure.
of being a Nightmare Before Christmas fanatic. So
Right.
the people who were fanatics really got on my fucking tits. So I just, as such, I have a really bad relationship with that movie as a whole, just because of
Hmm.
the Disney adults, funnily enough.
Right. Right.
The movie's fine. The soundtrack was what confused the hell out of me because every goth person I knew would swear up and down about the soundtrack, and I finally bought that thing when I was like 28 or something like that. Went home, listened to it, and there's like 2 good fucking songs on there, and one of them's by Marilyn Manson, and the other one's by Korn, and the rest of it, I'm like,
Oh, that
what
one
the
where everyone
fuck is
did
this
covers.
bullshit?
Yeah, I was like, the original soundtrack is really good, but the covers one.
No, they were talking about the covers. And I'm like,
I
there's
don't
2
like-
songs that I can understand you people getting
Oh.
behind, but the rest
I don't
of it,
like
I'm like,
any
what the
of
hell?
them. I bought that as soon as it came out, and I'm like, I like a lot of these artists. I don't like any of the stuff on that soundtrack.
let's be real here. Nightmare Before Christmas has got like 2 good songs in it, and that's it.
Gasp. Amy Lee does Sally's song, and or was it Fiona Apple? One of the two of them.
Or Evanescence.
Yeah,
Whatever.
Yeah, and it still didn't even.
Yeah. Now that's not to say that the whole track is bad. I'm just saying in terms of goth people toting about how good this thing
for sure.
was, it was not what I was fucking expecting.
No. Yeah.
Dude, it's called Nightmare Revisited.
Yeah. It's not. It's such a bummer. I love the original soundtrack, and I think they missed. All of the tracks sound like they just needed another take. Like you just needed to keep practicing.
Does What's This?
I
fucking love Flyleaf too.
Yeah, it's no good.
Speaking of hardcore Christian bands that are really metal.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right, are you guys ready to get started?
Yes, sir.
Sure thing. Here comes the boom. POD, another Christian metal band.
Right. All right, let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of That Video Game Podcast. I'm your host, Boston. Joining me as always is Moonpier.
Hi.
And the Nimp.
Hello.
Let's give a quick plug for patreon.com/E1M1.
The ones and numbers. I suddenly got sparklies in front of my eyes. That's weird.
Uh-oh. Soon to be a 2-person show, probably. By nice, good job, good being your friend. I'll miss you.
Yeah. Enjoy the glitter show.
That's right.
Don't worry, it's just a caffeine overdose. I'm fine.
Oh, there you go. Boy, there's a lot of stuff over on the Patreon. I wholeheartedly recommend every week listening to the Outcast. It is accidentally wild every week. It is the most sort of detoured show of just like, we're talking about this, and we're talking about this entirely different thing. Now we're talking about something else. I wholeheartedly recommend it every single week. For patrons, you'll get early access to We Rogue Like It as well. Feyroar in chat says the $5 tier is legit. Do it. That's right. Listen to Feyroar. That's the recommended tier. If you want to do more per month, please do. But Moon and I have found a burgeoning roguelike problem this week, and We Rogue Like It. So if you're a patron over there, you get 2-week early access to that. It'll be coming out on Wednesday. And you get 2-month early access to Critical Misses, show where Moon and I are catching up on all the media hits we've missed. And if you're at the $5 tier or higher, you'll get the production meeting for Critical Misses over there as well. That's an exclusive, where we keep growing that list. we keep that list just keeps
another one to the
bigger.
Barbie today.
Yeah, just
I mean, this is how bad the production meetings have gotten. We have to actually schedule them now because it's like, a 10-minute production meeting will be fine, but we know that it ends up being an hour plus every single
it's
time.
always going to clock over an hour. Yeah, because someone finds something and goes, oh, wait, and then that happens. So, patreon.com/E1M1.
Those ones be numbers.
Moon, what have you been playing this past week?
So, as discussed on the pre-show, I didn't have a whole lot of time, so I'm just going to do rapid fire here, really, to be completely honest. Disney Pop World, whatever it's called. I literally don't even know what it's called. It's just
right.
on the screen.
That
Disney
match
Pop
3.
Town.
Yeah.
Yes. The match 3 game. So it gave me a pop-up thing for updates, and it's like, oh, now it's this season, and now we're doing the bingo season, and this, that, and the other. And it's like, congratulations, we've added levels 2,740 to 2,990.
Yep.
Pardon?
My wife is there for it.
And I was like,
my goodness.
I was like, hold on, I'm up to level 300.
There's how many? I'm sorry.
Like, what? Like,
wow.
Like, really?
This is like 6 of the one of the 6 Disney games my wife rotates on her phone throughout the week.
It took all my effort to not jump into Mirrorverse when that started getting announced, especially when Gary Witter is on Twitter talking about it, because him and the Lang Zone all had something to do with it, I believe.
I played Mirrorverse when it came out, and I immediately did not like it. I was hoping for a different I guess I never talked about it on the show. I was hoping for it to be a different experience I thought it was going to be like a left side, right side, like battling kind of RPG thing, but it's more of a you and your party moving around the screen to like attack enemies, and I don't like having to move on the screen with like an on-screen D-pad sort of thing, so I uninstalled it. I played maybe an hour, and I didn't like it.
Okay, that's good, because I was worried it was going to be Marvel Strike Force, and I don't need one of those in my life anymore.
That's sort of what I was expecting it to be. And I like the idea of all these like different versions of your kind of famous Disney characters, but it really immediately didn't click with me.
So yeah, I don't know. Disney Pop is fine. It's a match 3 that I play. It's one of many match 3s. Yeah. I'm not gonna trying not to go down the mobile phone game rabbit hole, because I know then I will stop playing all of the games because it's available on my phone and tablet. Yeah, whatever. Speaking of variants on your favorite characters, we might as well get out the way early this time. Let's talk about Marvel Snap.
Yes, let's.
I have a problem.
Is your problem Marvel Snap?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I played a lot this week, 100%. Especially since I'm not feeling well. I can lay on the couch and be sick and play Marvel Snap at the same time.
So the oven I've got, when you preheat it, it's got a 10-minute timer for it to get up to temp.
Perfect. Time for 5 matches.
Exactly. It was like, oh, that's a couple of Marvel Snap matches. So I'm just standing with my hand on the oven, and as it gets hotter, with one other hand going, move that card there, move that card there, move that card there.
I have been appreciated as I am taking care of a sick kid at home who's been glued to me. I have also appreciated that this game, you can play it with one hand, so I can be like rubbing my kid's back at the same time and also like putting armor into an area in the game and going,
So that's not the only game this week you can play with one hand. Literally just a thumb.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. He's going to talk about one we already talked about.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've talked about it before. It's just, it's...
Yeah.
It's new again. Everything else is new again.
That's right. Time is a flat circle.
Like us, we're suddenly children again.
That's right.
Well, it's Marvel Snap. I moved over to, I think I mentioned it previously, I moved over to a modified movement deck that Justin came in with, and then I tweaked it to make it mine. And then I'm definitely in pool 3 now because I'm seeing all kinds of cards that I've never seen before.
Yeah, I moved into pool 3 this week as well. So for anyone that maybe isn't playing Marvel Snap, you have different, essentially, tiers of rewards you're getting in your collection level. So it's like X rank or X collection level gets you in pool 1, and you get a different set of cards in pool 2, and you get a different set of cards in pool 3. And essentially, depending on which pool you're in, those are the other players or bots that you're getting matched against. So usually when you move to a different pool, you're seeing the people you're playing against have a whole selection of new cards that they're using against you that sometimes you have already and sometimes you don't.
Yeah. So I saw 2 new cards today alone, which I think would make great additions to the movement deck, which I don't have.
Okay.
One of them is a 1 cost 2 energy, which every time he moves, he doubles his power.
Wow. Who is that? Do you remember?
I don't know.
That's
I was
wild.
so astounded by it, but I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
I did still win that match because I'm that good. It's just me, but I did see another one who, anytime anyone else moves into that slot, they get +4 power, so like a higher cost version of the one that's already in the most movement decks.
Mm-hmm.
Can't remember his name. But yeah, she basically gets huge bonuses for when enemies move into the slot rather than when anyone moves into it.
Okay.
It's a really interesting addition. It's like, okay, if I get that card, can I sacrifice somebody for that? Which I'll find out if and when I get there. My collection level right now, by the way, is level 660.
Oh, I don't know what mine is. Let me fire it up. 539 for me.
Craven. Craven is the one who levels up his strength when anyone moves into that location.
Gotcha.
So it's like a modified version of Craven. But no,
I'm still waiting to get Agatha. I still don't have that card yet because I want to make a deck. So for anyone that hasn't seen Agatha, when you have her in your deck, she starts in your hand at the beginning of the game and plays your entire deck for you, but plays herself last. So essentially, like, you're playing against someone and they're probably like, why is this person making like really weird bonkers plays? And then she plays herself last, and it's just like, haha, it was Agatha the whole time. I really want to make a deck around that to just like try and have somebody wondering, like, am I playing against a bot? No, it was Agatha.
I got a couple more cards which would be good for my disruption deck when I eventually feel like building that thing, which is to mess up everyone else's game plan as much as humanly possible.
Right.
So I'm going to steal all of your cards. So I got really mad and did retreat this week because we had an unreveal effects that doubled here.
Yes.
And then someone played Wong on that, which doubles on reveal effects.
Mm-hmm.
And they promptly dropped the Guardians of the Galaxy guy, Yondu.
Right.
And erased 4 of my cards.
Ouch.
Oh man.
No, thank you.
So I was like, okay.
Yeah, at that point, just leave. That's what, a third of your deck?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
4, 8. Yeah, it says exactly a third of your deck.
Yep. Bye.
Like,
I'm out.
Okay. I guess I'm done.
Yep.
But no, I'm enjoying the game a lot. Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
I just gotta open the door for this stupid cat.
Sure. Yeah, I'm also really enjoying this game as well. It's kind of funny how, not really hot and cold, but how the collection level goes up. I guess sort of at the place I'm at now is sort of like, hi, giant cat. Collection level is like, some days I will go up maybe 1 or 2, and some days I'm going up like 30 because I have enough credits, and I'm like, doing the last upgrade you can do on a card, and I'm getting plus 10 for like 2 or 3 cards. So it's kind of interesting at this point. It's not a negative, but Marvel Snap is great.
I'm also in the Bills like field right now, where it's like you have 16 cards ready for upgrading. It's like, great. I just need credits now.
Right. I have none of those. Yeah.
But I'm not a whale, so I'm not going to be spending gold to get credits, so go away.
Well, it doesn't seem like... It's one of those things where you go in the store and you're like, all this stuff seems too expensive in the store to justify buying any of this stuff. Like, I don't even buy card variants. Like, I'll buy one every once in a while because I really, really like it, and it's for a card that is kind of in my deck. Like, I bought a chibi version of Armor because Armor is kind of... I'm
so lucky because I got that from a mystery card hunt.
Oh, wow. Well, Armor is like really important in my deck because I have a Moon Girl Devil Dinosaur deck. So Armor is really important to counter any sort of Shang-Chi business that an enemy might drop on me.
Yep.
But other than that, I look at a lot of the cards, and maybe I'm lucky because I'm not a comic book guy, but a lot of the card variants are out, and I'm like, either this is a joke I don't get, or it's a cover I don't like. So I feel like I'm kind of lucky for most of those.
I really like a lot of the Carnageized variants.
Yeah, those are cool.
But there's only like 4 that I've seen, and I have one of them, which is the
I have Spider
Woman.
Yeah, I have that one too.
Because that was in the season pass last year.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, some of them are great. But like you said, like the pixel variants are just kind of
I don't really moment. Like. I feel like they really missed. I feel like they missed the. I don't want to say they are bad, But I feel like they kind of missed the point of what could make a pixel variant cool. I think it's just the wrong style for a game like this.
Yeah, and holy crap, I did not realize you could tab on the unowned.
I just found
thing.
that today where I'm like, I'm still missing a lot of cards, boy.
Yeah, and like the best thing is if you've seen it, it gives you a black and white artwork of it.
Oh, that's
Oh,
cool.
Which is when it does the unreveal thing.
Mm-hmm.
But if you haven't seen it, it's
just
a silhouette.
That's clever. A
That's
lot
really
of clever
cool
stuff in this game.
Yeah, but no, I've seen a whole bunch of stuff in it, and I'm just holding out for Hela. Like that's all I want because I want to start experimenting with my discard deck.
Right.
The only way I'm going to be able to experiment with my discard deck is if I've got Hela, because I'm going to be discarding every card for every card I play.
Right.
Like, I'm going to be using one to throw one. So
right.
I need Hela to make that worthwhile. So as soon as I get Hela, I'm going to start messing around with that. But at the moment, like, I feel bad because, like, when I was playing my destruction deck and I got done dirty by a movement deck, like, it was one of those things. It was like, okay, congratulations, you played it really well. But now I'm running with a movement deck and I'm doing everybody else dirty, and it feels bad.
Right.
Yeah, man, you're just playing by the rules.
That's right.
Yeah, but that multiple.
If they didn't want you to use it, it wouldn't be in the game.
Like, dude, the amount of times my hand has started with multiple man and Hulkbuster.
Oh boy!
So I've immediately got a multiple man at 7, and then I've got Cloak ready to go and Heimdall. So I'll just move these people all around the thing.
Yep.
And somebody else did it to me and threw their own Cloak down. I was like, "Are you stupid? I'm using a movement deck too, and my multiple man is 9 right now, and you just give me an opportunity to put 9 across the board."
Right, you're only making me strong. Why are you hitting yourself? Like that sort of thing.
It's just like Yu-Gi-Oh said all those years ago. Believe in the power of the cards.
That's right. That's right.
Oh
man.
Well, when I get Howler, I guess that's going to be my Blue Eyes White Dragon moment, and we'll see how things go from there.
Yep.
This game it's too good. It's too quick. It's too fun. It's too easy to just pick up, play, and then put down, and then a couple of hours later come back when you've got new missions. I do think they need to do some serious work on their logo for notifications, because right now on Android it's just a box. It's a box.
Yeah, which is really weird.
Just a box.
It's just a little box that pops up and it's like new missions available. It's like, come on, give me the cube. Like, give me the cube logo, not some dumb little box. It's just like, okay. I'm like,
maybe
sure.
I was gonna say, I don't know. Maybe there's something weird about the notifications that they can't put a 3D looking object in it or something.
Yeah.
How does it look on? Because I'm assuming you're on iPhone, right, Boston?
Yeah, I don't have notifications on though, because every time, every time you fire up something on iOS, it's like, oh, by the way, if you could let this app track your usage, that would be super great. And I click no, and then it says like, hey, do you want to let this app do notifications? I click no. So I have never seen a notification from this game. I don't know if I want to open that.
Let me know. Let me know what they look like.
Yeah, I'll have to go turn those on.
Yeah, I'd like to see if it's like just a cube that we get. It's kind of dumb. Okay, let's see. What else? Dead by Daylight, which is fine. Whatever. That happened. There's that game which Nimp's going to talk about and we can't talk about because it's the Wii Roguelike It game. My final game this week is Saints Row. I don't know if this says more about the game than it does about me. I had a long week, a very long week, so it could just be me. But I put like maybe 15 hours into this game this week.
Okay.
And I can't remember much.
Okay.
Little column A, little column B.
Yeah.
Like, I honestly don't know whether to blame the game or whether to blame myself.
Well, I don't think I should blame yourself.
Like, I think the scariest part of this is, if you follow me on Twitter, you might have seen me say this. I learned that Saints Row 4 Re-elected has stackable achievements on the PC.
Oh no.
And I haven't played Saints Row 3 Remastered.
Mm-hmm. I see. I'm starting to see what you're getting at here.
If that tells you anything about this particular version of Saints Row.
Right.
I don't know. It's fine, I guess. I don't know.
It's not
shooting still feels weird.
It's not reinventing the genre, that's for sure.
Exactly. I finally figured out how to do a barrel roll.
Right.
Because the game does not explain it to you if you're trying to do the car challenges to unlock the car's signature skills, and it says do a barrel roll. When you hit a jump, hold the A button, and then you rotate perpendicularly rather than horizontally. There you go.
Okay.
So, for all of my fellow Purple Jacket Mafia members out there, which is what the Saints are called on the news in the game for some reason, that's how you do a barrel roll. I did do a bunch of the side missions, which are getting more ludicrous.
All right, that's a word I want for Saints Row. I
didn't say interesting.
No, yeah.
I chose my words very carefully, hence the hesitation.
Right.
It's, I don't know. It's like now I'm calling the gangs to start a fight with the gangs so I can track the calls for backup that go out, so I can then wingsuit and bounce off the satellite receivers so I can stop them from being able to call backup in the future.
Okay. Sure. That sounds like a Saints Row thing.
I did also do a golf cart delivery, which had nitrous.
Okay.
Of course.
All right.
Sure. I did the towing missions because, of course, there is towing missions.
Yep.
See, the funny thing is, I remember way back when Grand Theft Auto 3 came out, and it's like, wait, you can get a taxi and like do taxi missions,
drive people to where they want to go. This is crazy.
And like that gets you money, and then if you do it to like level 100, you get like a red taxi that goes faster than all the other taxis. That's great. These days, it's like, no, I don't want to do taxi missions anymore.
I'm too tired.
Also, massive pro tip if you decide to start playing Saints Row. One of the first criminal empires or criminal ventures that you will unlock is Jim Rob's mechanic place, which he basically just wants you to steal a whole bunch of cars. Do those first.
Oh, okay.
Because by doing those, you unlock the abilities for car delivery.
Okay. So you can deliver a car to where you are?
Exactly.
Gotcha. A little bit of Forza Horizon action.
Yes, specifically your favorite car, which can only be one, weirdly enough, and it doesn't give you a choice. It's got to be the favorite car.
Interesting.
But the amount of times that I would be left in the middle of nowhere, because this does have a lot of desert in it, and the game is beautiful and amazing, and the desert regions of, like, I'm assuming Southwest America is not really represented that much in video games. Like, it's a great change of pace. It's a great, like, setting change, and I do like that. But when you're in the middle of the mountains on a rocky hillside with one road in sight, and then the car that drives past is like a tractor, you're just like, come on.
It's not going to do it.
This is Saints Row, not Farming Simulator. There is a difference between the two.
Right.
So do those missions, get that ability. It will make your life easier, especially if you steal one of the high-end cars, because then you can just get that delivered wherever you want, and then you can just drive as quick as you want wherever you want.
Nice.
I'm in, let's see, criminal empires that are not spoilerific. I got the fashion designer one, and she gives you a dream journal, and then you have to take a photo of something based off her dream journal. Which is
fun.
Stupid.
This is just one of those traipse around the map with this one picture to figure out where it's at, to find the hidden treasure.
It's even less imaginative. It's, here is a circle zone on the map that you are standing in. Find something that matches this description and take a photo of it.
Okay.
So it's like a little mini riddle. And it's like,
Mhm.
oh, I see the inflatable man lording over his terrain. And it's like an inflatable pool guy standing on a balcony that you're going to take a photo of. It's like, okay.
Wacky
Okay.
inflatable R flailing tube man.
Right.
It's not even that fun, to be honest. At least that one moves.
Yeah.
Let's see. I did all of the experimental like tech missions, which is cool because I did just get like a hologram wall that lets me shoot through walls.
Cool.
Okay.
So one of my abilities now is I can put up like this matrixy looking wall, and whenever I shoot through it, if there's a wall in the background, it will just shoot straight through the wall.
Interesting.
Hmm.
Okay.
Annoyingly, the boss says, "Oh, like a railgun." It's like, no,
No,
No.
that's different.
I have had enough with the Red Faction talk
That's
on
right.
this game. Get away from me with the Red Faction bar and the history of Red Faction rebellion all around that bar and everything else. Stop talking about Red Faction. Red Faction was one of the games of its generation when it came out. It was an undersung legend. And
Right.
then Guerrilla was great too, even if a little bit clanky. But
Yeah.
I'm never going to complain about taking a sledgehammer to one leg of like a watchtower and watching the whole thing topple.
Yeah. Metal Gear?
Like, just stop talking about Red Faction. One
Yeah.
little reference.
Keep his
I was
name out of
fine
your
with.
mouth.
It's literally what I tweeted.
That's right.
Like one reference I'm fine with, but all of them is just like, come on, enough.
Yeah.
But I don't know. The game is fine so far. Little bits of humor here and there have been getting me. And as much as I'm loath to say this, the lady driver on your team, I can't remember her name, that's how unimaginative these characters are, feels like a dollar store Kinsey.
Yeah.
And Kinsey was always the best.
Yeah, I agree.
Like from that original crew, I hated Johnny Gat. I hated so many of those characters.
Yep.
From the second she showed up, Kinsey was one of my favorites. And it feels like they're trying to redo some archetypes with them. And they're fine. Don't get me wrong. When I say dollar store version, it's fine. Like, they're okay. They are perfectly acceptable characters, one of whom likes buying knives.
Oh, Gabe Newell's in the game?
But no, it's Jeff Gersman, who actually referenced it while talking about this game. But the problem is, they're not Kinsey. They're not Johnny Gat.
Right.
Like, essentially, Johnny Gat was the boss, but I think Johnny Gat was useless by the end because the boss took over what Johnny Gat did.
Mm-hmm.
They were just the same thing. It's like mixing milk with milk. You just get more milk.
Right.
Whereas people like Kinsey was an offshoot. Kinsey was the one who gave you the Tron missions. Come on.
Oh, that's true.
Like, I don't know. I like the game in a, if you know me, you know that I will play complete and utter dog doo-doo.
The most B
a
of B
okay
games.
game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I like it in that sense, and it's kind of enjoyable so far, but it's like, okay, I'm literally doing side missions so I can try and do this other side mission because I don't really want to progress the story forwards because I don't know if I'm going to come back to this once I've completed the campaign.
Yeah.
So I need to get all of them achievements beforehand because otherwise it's going to be a struggle to pick this thing back up.
Yep.
This isn't going to be Saints Row 4 where I'm gliding around the simulation to try and find all of the agility glitches.
Mm-hmm.
Where you're just happy to be there.
Yeah.
Just happy to be invited, man.
Whatever. Saints Row. I don't know. We'll see. That's all I've been playing, Nymph. Take me away.
It was released like a wet fart, and so it shall stay.
That's right.
All right. This week, it was also a wet fart for me, too.
Okay.
I played Horizon Forbidden West. Not a bad game, not indicative of what I just said.
Yeah.
I went back and looked at the settings. So, there is no automatic pickup
Oh, okay.
But what you can do is you can deactivate her alloy stopping to pick something up.
Yeah.
So you
okay.
can just run through a field and tap triangle, and you just start adding stuff as you're running by
Oh,
it.
that's
So
okay then.
it's a time saver. Yeah, it works
Yeah.
out. The it defaulted for the graphical stuff. It was defaulted to graphics over performance, so I switched that over to performance.
Okay.
It's a lot smoother for me now.
Yep.
And
Get that 60 frames.
I also did change the screen mode to immediate, so I don't have load screen.
Yep, that's the setting.
Which
Yep.
it wasn't horrific. It
No.
wasn't like Soul Hackers where I'm like, man, this is wow.
This is we're hanging out here for a while.
Yeah. So yeah, I made those changes, and now I have. Let me think. I have completed crossing the line to go to the Forbidden West with the whole ambushing and all that fun stuff.
Yep.
I am now purely in the open world space of I need 12 raccoon skins to upgrade a pouch so I can hold one more potion. So now I'm hunting raccoons. I have gotten really good with shooting blue jays out of the sky.
Yes, a skill you never knew you'd need.
Yeah, this is kind of turned into Cabela's Presents the Forbidden West with me right now, because I'm just upgrading everything as I can find it. I also have... I knew in the first game that they had kind of separated the bows, where it's like, oh, you need a particular bow and it'll shoot, like the long bow shoots slower, but does more damage. It seems like so far they have changed it where, okay, your main bow that you start with shoots regular arrows and acid arrows.
Yeah.
This hunting bow that I just bought shoots fire arrows and acid arrows.
Yeah.
And it seems like, from what I can remember, and I may be wrong, it seems like you can now equip a lot more items where weapons.
Yeah, the like weapon wheel is way bigger this time.
Yeah, it's like an 8-point compass instead of a 4-point.
Yep.
Which I couldn't remember that, but I'm like, this looks and seems like I'm carrying a lot more than I could in the first game, which
I remember
helps
that
out,
too.
Yeah, because it helps out now that they're changing. Certain bows have certain elements tied to them. It's like, okay, so now I obviously need to carry more, and there's like all the different traps and stuff.
Yeah,
so.
And they have like a bow that's like a shotgun now, and they have a bow that's like the one you were saying is a longer range one. So they have a lot more options. I usually just used Aloy's bow, like the one she starts with.
Well, and I was actually going to ask, are there any stats tied to these bows? Because besides upgrading them, it doesn't seem like. Because if I'm remembering correctly, it seemed like the green version compared to the purple version, once you fully upgraded them, there was a bit of a stat boost in like the purple version.
Yeah, they do that in this one again, but it takes a while for that stuff to show up. I think you're getting close to that point, but especially like the purple and orange ones, they have like they have pretty distinct stats, and we were just actually talking about this on Pup the other day. That like once you get into the purple and orange ones, each one of those are kind of, they have enough stats on them to complement a particular play style. So like if you like sneaking around and doing like the silent takedowns, here's this cool armor set and weapons for this. Or like if you like doing the poison attacks, here's an armor set and weapons that do that. I went for the ones for enabling the slowdown to last longer and happen more often. So like all the stuff I was wearing was kind of related to that. Which I think they lean into more in this one than they did in the first one.
I've started speccing more towards the hunters, which they also have way more skill trees in this one than they did in the first game.
It's like what, 6 or 7 skill trees in this one?
Yeah, it's like everything's a skill tree now.
It's a lot.
Because it used to just be like bow, melee, and survivor. I think it was just like those 3 or something like that. Yeah. Maybe there was a 4th. But this one is like melee, bow, survivor,
machine
hunter.
riding.
Yeah, riding. Yeah, exactly.
I'm not putting any points in machine riding. What's wrong with you?
I couldn't care less. Although I do have a mount, and apparently that mount doesn't go away until it's been killed.
Yeah, which I thought was like, really a really cool touch of like I don't remember if they did that in the first one, but like you can send away and recall that same mount, so you don't have to
Yeah.
go patch another one to just go ride it. And I was like, all right, that's a really good change, because I never rode anything in the first one because I'm not gonna go like sneak and hunt down one of these like horse things to go ride them. Like,
Oh,
it
I
sucked.
caught one by accident, and my best thing was just going traipsing through the forest and killing a bunch of boars because it just auto
Yep.
attacks when
Yeah,
you
yeah,
dash it
that's
because it's a charger. Yeah.
Yep, it's
So
real
all of a
good.
sudden, there's just like a bunch of boars meat behind me because I just went through a whole killing field with all
Yep.
these. I'm trying to think anything else.
Have you done the
It's-
Death's Door mission yet?
No, I haven't.
Okay. That for me is the point where the game really took off. There's like a bunch of story stuff, and they kind of give you like one of the game's big mechanics at that point, and that's
Okay.
where I was really enjoying it until that, like up to that point. And that point for me, it was just like, oh, okay, like now this game is really, really cooking.
I was gonna say, I do really enjoy it. Mostly the story. Like
Yeah.
I mean, the first one was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would almost say it was great.
Yep.
Because I really did like a lot of the back and forth where it's like, okay, here's this idiot.
Yeah, we're trying really hard
Screwed
not to
all of this
spoil it,
up.
because
Yeah.
like some of the best parts about these games, I think, are the story that they made, and like how interwoven it is, and actually really well told the stories in both of these games are. And like the story in the second game is very much like, all right, that first game happened, we're picking up immediately, and I hope you remember that stuff because it's coming.
And when you are trying to find in the beginning the thing, and you get to
Yep.
that point, and then the dude pops up again, and I was
And you're just
all
like,
middle fingers to
yeah,
that
and you're like,
screen.
I
was
swear
"Not
to
you."
God. Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
and this dude is like long dead. Like he's been dead for thousands of years. And
Yeah.
he still sucks. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm really liking it. They did with the lore, the story, everything. That acting in this is like real good. They did
Especially
real good job with the mocapping.
Yeah,
and-
mocapping, especially for like every character, even like the shopkeep in like Chain Scrape has incredible motion capture. Like it's wild.
Yeah, it's a whole nother level of story. Like it feels like you're actually watching people have a real conversation almost.
Yep. That
So-
that Death Stranding engine still killing it, man. Like
Yeah.
still it's still a great engine. Goodness.
After that, the next game that I played that came out was Vampire Survivors on Game Pass.
Yes.
The game that you only need one thumb
That's
to
right.
play.
The left stick only. Well, you got to make some decisions, but not that many.
Yeah. I played this a lot on PC,
Mhm.
and I was telling Moon I probably haven't played it in about 6 months on PC, just because I was giving it a
Okay.
break. Because at the time they were getting close to release. I was like, okay, I'm at the point now where I've played it a lot, and I'm
Mhm.
going to wait until they officially do the 1.0 so I can see what all they do. And man, have they changed a lot since the last time I've played. Like
Oh, okay.
game mechanic is still the same. You have very, very little control on actions happening. All actions are automatic.
You're just
Only
moving.
the only
Yeah.
thing that you can control sometimes is like with the daggers. When those get thrown, they get thrown whichever way you're facing.
Yeah.
So like I'm talking like that. Everything else though shoots off by itself. It usually
Yep.
shoots off to the closest enemy, or just shoots off towards an enemy group, or whatever. So you're just walking around trying to survive.
That's right.
I was telling Moon that I played a little bit this week, and then today I had seen that Moon was playing.
Mhm.
All right, cool. And then I looked at his achievements, and he was at like 240 or something like that at that point in time. And I was like, this will not stand. So
I looked at mine
I
during
played-
We Were Like It, and I'm at like 320.
well, and that's the thing. So like I got past Moon,
Mhm.
and then I was like, oh hey, Boston's playing. Where's he at? You were at 340.
Okay.
I was like, this will not.
This will
stand.
also not stand. You dare?
So I went through, and I actually had a 30-minute run just before we started,
Uh-huh.
which is my first one on console.
Oh, nice.
So I I had it all set up. I was playing in the library, and I got my Bible all the way set up so that way it was the King James Unlimited Edition, which
right.
just means that it's constantly going.
Yep.
I had my garlic field set up so that way
Garlic?
it was constantly draining health.
Yeah.
Yeah. I upgraded the throwing axe so that it turned into the boomerang sickles.
Yes. Yep.
I upgraded the cross so that it turned into Heaven's Sword.
Yeah.
And I pretty much just stood in one place and just let the little experience crystals show up on this outer layer of where everything connects.
Yeah.
And then every once in a while, I just make a quick rotation and level up a couple times. Just
Scoop
sit
it all
there and
up.
wait. Yep. And I was telling my wife, because she was sitting here watching it, because I was telling her, it's like, after a while, it just sounds like you're making popcorn with how everything blows up.
Yep.
And I got close to the 30-minute timer, and I was like, oh, I wonder if they still have it where death just shows up and kills you, or if there's something else that happens. No, death just shows up and just one-shots you.
I really like that it's like, your run is over.
Yeah.
You completed the level. Thank you.
Which, there was a point on the PC, and I don't know about the console, you can kill death and continue the timer.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And it takes a lot to do that. So,
wow.
But yeah, I am at the point where Poe, still my main guy.
What's
he
up,
is
Poe?
the old man. He's the old man that starts with garlic.
We're the 3 out of 3 Poe fan club here.
Okay. Yeah, I have done runs without garlic, but it just kind of seems like having at least garlic maxed out is a pretty good defense, if nothing else. Especially when you get to the DPS checks and they're literally throwing a screen's worth of whatever at you, and the only thing you can do is just stand there and wait for it to go away.
Yeah, Nimp is not exaggerating. Like, in some of the later stuff, it literally sprites filling the screen of just a field of enemies.
I was telling my wife, is like, at this point, this is where my PC starts to lag on this game.
Yeah, exactly. What are you playing on Series X?
Yep.
Yeah. Runs really nicely there.
It does. I want to buy it for PlayStation just to support them.
It's not out. It's not out yet.
I know, but
I will buy it over there too when it comes out, because like on PC it's only like $7 or $8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bought it when it was $2.
Right.
And right after I bought it, they bumped it up to $2.40.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it's another one of those success stories where it's just one dude making a game he really wanted to make. Good on him.
How popular is this going to be when it eventually hits the Switch?
Oh, yeah, it's just going to be. If they don't put it on Switch, I don't know what he's doing. Like, that's a no-brainer.
Slow that down a little bit, though, because you get to certain points, and that Switch is going to hit a wall hard.
Yeah, it scales down to like 240p.
But yeah, I mean, this is the game that I was talking about. This is probably the only roguelike-ish game that I enjoy. And it's mostly because you have like a 5-minute run or you have like a 30-minute run, and it starts and it ends just as quick, and you just get right back into it as soon as you're dead. Unless you're me and you unlock a ton of achievements and you're just waiting for everything to go through the unlock phase.
That's right.
So,
I mean, it's a lot like we were talking about with Hades too, where it's like, if you don't like roguelikes typically, this is probably still another one I would recommend, that it's different enough and it's unique enough, and it isn't like, this isn't like a Binding of Isaac clone or anything. It's not a super hard Nuclear Throne sort of thing. Like, this is a fairly reasonable game. It's pretty difficult once you start getting some pretty spicy runs going, but it's not, your thumb skill, as people call it, doesn't need to be super high, because you just need to move around and make some decisions.
I feel like you're going to know by the 10-minute mark whether or not this is going to be a 30-minute run or not.
100%.
Because like I said, there's like a DPS check every 5 minutes.
Yeah, there's like that one wave of enemies where you're like, oh, nope, this is where my run ends. Okay. Yep.
And it's always great, too, because they'll send out, like, one of that type. Like, if the very first level with all the bats and stuff, they'll send out, like, the Dracula-type bat, and you'll see one of them coming, and it's like, okay, let me see how much damage I do. And if it takes me more than, like, 5 seconds to kill it, I'm like, nope, I'm dead.
That's right. This train wreck is coming.
Yep.
Yep.
But yeah, I really love this game. They've added a lot. The characters, I've already unlocked, like, a bunch of characters that I'm like, I don't even know who this is. I've never seen them before. Like, I just unlocked a witch that summons a cat. I used her for the first time. Not 100% sure I enjoy that one yet. And I am pretty sure that cat attacks you as well if you get too close to it.
Okay. Great.
So, just keep that in mind.
Oh man.
But yeah, it's still a great game. Pick it up.
Yep.
Or
it's on Game Pass.
Get it on Game Pass. Yeah, but it's like $7 or something.
Yeah.
I would pay $10-15 for it.
Yep.
So, but that for right now is all that I've been playing.
All right. My first game here is I've dipped back into Citizen Sleeper a little bit. The second expansion episode or whatever they're calling it is out now. It's called Refuge. I've only played a couple of minutes. These ones typically aren't typically super long. But Nimp, what are you doing over there?
Sorry, I was moving something.
So yeah, I was just opening a bag of chips.
No, I was moving a bag of stuff.
Okay. There was some stuff at the end of the kind of game proper, and then the first episode that was teasing some stuff, and it seems like that thing happened immediately at the beginning of this. So it's nice to see them kind of making good on some of the stuff that they were teasing. And also it happens directly after, like maybe a day or so after the events of the first DLC too. And both of these are free, and Citizen Sleeper is still on Game Pass as well. So it's kind of nice to see that they're continuing this story. I was sort of expecting it to be maybe like a day in the life for all of these, but so far it seems to be they're continuing this kind of extension of the main game story. But haven't played too much of it yet. I'm excited to go back to Citizen Sleeper, but I've been sick for like seemingly as long as my kid has been in kindergarten. So like my brain is pudding at the moment. So reading a whole bunch of like dystopian technobabble is not in the cards for me right now. So I'll have to get back to Citizen Sleeper here pretty soon. But speaking of my kid, my kid really, really loves Pokemon. And she had seen an advertisement at some point for the new Pokemon game, and she's like, "Daddy, we need to pick this up." And I was like, "Well, I didn't enjoy Arceus, so no." But I did remember I had a Pokemon Sword installed on my Switch, so I was like, I think we should play this together. So we've been going through Pokemon Sword like 20 or 30 minutes at a time until she sort of starts losing interest, and which means we've largely gotten through. I think we just got the Pokedex, so we're sort of going through the tutorial at this point, and we're also using it as a reading tool to practice her reading. So we're moving pretty slowly through it, but that's fine. She picked Score Bunny as our starter. Which is great because Score Bunny's my favorite.
You're all wrong. Grass for the win.
Well, I don't know. Grookey is not my favorite. Sobble is definitely not the one we're gonna pick. That's a sad looking creature. But so far it's been good. It's been a lot of like we watched the Pokemon anime on Netflix, which they've like. The recent one they've branded as like Pokemon Legends, so it's sort of following the story of this game. So she kind of knows about the legendary Pokemon and Leon, the Ultimate Champion, and all of that stuff. So we're sort of retreading familiar ground, which is fine.
So you're just in time because all the news stories this week was talking about how after 20 years, Ash finally became
this 10-year-old after 20 years. He finally did it. So it's been fun. It's been a lot of like, here's this Pokemon that you've never seen before. Let's see, like, he really loves finding out what types Pokemon are. I don't really know why. Like, we'll catch a flying Pokemon. She's like, "Oh, it's flying and dark type. Wow!" And I'm like, "Okay." Like, you
annoyed me so much when they added extras.
Yeah, I'm like, you do you, kid. I'm more interested in like what messed up backstory is happening here with this horrible Pokemon. But
which one of these were made in a lab?
yeah, exactly. Like, which one of this is like eating other Pokemon or something? So far,
Don't let her read Cubone's bio.
no. Cubone's is super sad.
That one was messed up.
Yeah.
Wasn't there another one from the original? Was it Taurus?
There's a bunch that are just like, okay.
Yeah, there was one that they were talking about. They kept it around specifically for its meat or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Whoa.
It's like, hey, oh boy, okay, sure, why not?
Every part of the Taurus.
That's right. That's right. But we're moving slowly through that. We'll probably never finish it, just like I never finished it in the first place, and that's okay. I'm all right with that. But last one here, it's the thing that both Nimp and I have been playing here, God of War Ragnarok. Let's do a little bit of an intro here. We're not going to be talking any story stuff since it's been out for like 2 days at this point. We certainly don't want to spoil it. We're going to try not spoil like mechanics or anything, especially if you haven't played the first one. Reminder that this podcast does have chapter titles. If you don't want to hear anything about this, just skip on to releases. This will be the last thing we talk about here in the first section. We're talking a little bit here before we start recording. I have only had a chance to play probably about 3 hours, so I'm through like the kind of intro tutorial section of the game here, and I think you said you played like 12 hours or something so far?
12 hours-ish, and
yeah.
Really liking it.
Yeah, boy. So, first, you were talking about Horizon Forbidden West and like its graphics options. I don't know what sort of dark magic they have done with the PS5 and my TV, but I have, and I forgot about it until I fired this game up, but in the PS5's dashboard, you can say, I prefer graphics or I prefer frame rate. And when you fire up a new game, it will inherit those settings and kind of use that as your default. So when I fired this up, it said, number one, I really like when you first fired up the game, it said, all right, do you want to go through a quick setup or do you want to go through all of the accessibility settings? And the first thing the game said was, if you want to turn on screen reading, just press the square button right now. And I was like, yes, great. Thank you.
And if you don't, it automatically reads the screen for you in case you do need it to let you know about it.
Yeah, it's really, really smart. But I'm going through all the settings. They have a lot of really smart settings in there for accessibility. Like one of the ones I thought was the coolest was traversal stuff, where you can change it so that the left stick, by just pushing it, he will just traverse like over gaps and up cliffs and stuff like that automatically, so you don't have to press another button to kind of do the other stuff. Really great stuff.
This one has auto pickup.
Auto pickup is really great. I don't have that on right now, but after some fights, I might turn that on.
Yeah, because there was it's really funny because when you defeat some of the bigger things that spew out items, you can't move for a second because Kratos is busy picking, like at the end of the fight. If you're
like
still fighting, it doesn't
up.
kick on. But yeah, he's just standing there picking things up, and it's like, okay, now I can move.
Yeah. But what's really incredible is that I turned on, when I got to the graphics settings, there's a ton of stuff under there, but I left it on high frame rate, or like prefer frame rate, or whatever they call it. Yeah. And then I enabled high frame rate mode. And at this point, it is at 4K. It's probably upscaling from 1440p, which is fine. 120 frames per second, locked at 120. Yep. I don't know what sort of dark magic they are doing with this. I'm assuming it's at 40 hertz with VRR, but I have done some wild stuff in this game, even just in that intro chapter, and I have not dropped below 120 frames. No, that's wild.
Yeah, I don't think I've come across any slowdown or anything.
Yeah,
playing it. So, and the PlayStation, it doesn't even sound like it's putting effort into it.
No, yeah, it's On a technical level, it's very, very impressive.
So
and
we'll start at the beginning. So after we go through all the accessibilities, you then get to have the difficulty options.
Yes.
Which I found hilarious enough to screenshot, because your difficulty options are from easiest to hardest. Give me story. Give me grace. Give me balance. Give me no mercy. And give me God of War.
Yep. I went with balance, just as kind of a normal. I think you can change it later, right?
You can, but I just started seeing today. Apparently there's some weird difficulty glitch.
Oh, really?
I don't know what's causing it or what's going on with it. But there was also a new update that just dropped yesterday, 2.001, that no one seems to know what it's for or what it does yet.
Interesting. Okay.
So that may fix it. That may make it worse. I don't know. But...
Okay. Yeah. So far, I'm really enjoying everything that it's been doing. I appreciate that it didn't. This isn't a story spoiler or anything, but I'm appreciating it didn't pick up from immediately at the end of the first game. Like, there's very clearly been a passage of time, which is pretty great. And I don't know if I want to talk too much more about it, other than 2018 was really great. This one seems to be really great too, and everything seems to be. It seems to be as good as that first one, if not so far a little bit better.
Keeping up with, like we were saying with Horizon, it feels like people are having an actual conversation.
Yes, that has been a lot. There's a scene sort of at the end of the first chapter where there are a lot of people in one location, and unlike the first one, there were some problems with the first one. It very much seems like there are X number of people in this location, and they are actually talking to each other, which in 2022 shouldn't be like an impressive thing in games, but it's still impressive when they pull it off.
I think it's impressive more that it's not just that they're having a conversation. It feels like they're having a conversation. Like, I think we're getting to that point where people know what a conversation looks and feels like.
Right.
And when you have like random characters staring at a wall and talking to you,
yeah.
It's like,
well, and the performance, just like Forbidden West, like the performance capture feels really, really good in this one. Like it seems like they spent and they really should, because the beginning couple hours of the game is a very slow burn, kind of like the first game, where it's like you spend a lot of time with a lot of story and a lot of quiet moments and a lot of stuff that, it's not like God of War 1 or 2 on the PS2, where it's like, here we go. You're fighting the Kraken. Like,
there's been moments where it's been quiet, and that has put me on edge more than a couple of times. Where it's like, okay, something bad is going to happen.
Yeah.
And I'll leave it to you guys to figure out if something does or does not. But I have like a ton of notes that I'm going to wait until next week to actually read through. And they're not really spoilery, but there's a bunch of stuff that I know everyone's trying to dissect this game, and they're trying to get through it because it's the end of the year. So, but not everyone has been able to put a lot of time into the game yet.
Yeah. Well, like we said, it released on like a Wednesday, so like it's been a little bit hard to find time to, because it is, since it's still a God of War game, it's very, very, very violent. And very sweary in ways that are genuinely pretty enjoyable.
I will say, though, too, that there are still things that you find in the game that you can interact with that at this point I still haven't been able to interact with yet.
Yep.
And there's been a couple of times where it's like, okay, I bet you this is when I get this thing. And I'm like, nope, still haven't gotten anything for some of these things yet.
Check back later. Yeah.
So I'm really liking it.
Yeah, me too. I think it's very much like the last game. It is immediately really impressive and immediately a lot of fun. So, seems great. 2 thumbs up. But that's all I'm playing this week. Let's take a break.
Yup.
But next week, I'll spoil the hell out of this game. No.
Something I forgot to mention in the pre-show was we did watch Hocus Pocus this week, the first one.
Oh, okay.
Completely forgot how much of a Stranger in a Strange Land movie that is.
Mm-hmm.
With the witches, and it's just like, yeah, they freak out when a fire engine goes by.
Yeah.
Like, I love that kind of stuff, and I forgot how much of that was included in that movie.
Yeah.
Which only raises my respect for Hocus Pocus a little bit more.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah,
Still
we tried.
haven't seen the second one yet.
Everyone seems to like.
Yeah. I think my wife and daughter were supposed to go see it in theaters. I don't know if they ever actually did back then or not. So I'm pretty sure it came out streaming day of release, didn't it?
I think so. Yeah, Disney Plus put a big push on it, saying like, "Yo, it's here. Let's go."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was kind of worried that it was, Disney has a reputation with sequels. They're not good.
Right.
So I was kind of worried about that for everyone that really enjoyed the first one, whether you like it or hate it, whatever.
Yeah. Okay. You guys ready?
Yes, sir.
Yup.
All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's talk releases for the week of November 14th, 2022. Pentiment comes out on Xbox One, Series consoles, and PC. This is on Game Pass day and date. This is Obsidian's adventure classical story thing.
Yeah. Experimental thing.
Yeah, it certainly has a distinct style that it's going for, and it's like a real Middle Ages kind of story thing. If you haven't seen a trailer for this, it looks pretty cool, and it certainly it is certainly another unique thing from Obsidian that I don't think we have seen before, which is pretty great.
It reminds me of that painting game that Moon, you and I played, and I can't remember the name of it. And I don't know if you're going to be able to either.
It was,
it
was a long name.
Yeah. I remember which game you're talking about. I don't remember the name.
The one that got artist, historian, buffs all in a hot and tizzy, in a good way.
Yeah. Next game here is Somerville, coming out on Xbox One, Series consoles, and PC. This is also Game Pass day and date. I think this was a game we saw in the Summer Games Fest. This is the kind of science fiction family on the run from some sort of large-scale conflict kind of thing like that. Reminds me a lot of like a more 3D kind of like Limbo or Inside or something like that.
The Procession to Calvary.
Yes, the Procession to Calvary. Thank you. That was it. So that's coming out. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge is coming out on PS5. So that's getting a native version this week. Along with East 8, Lacrimosa of Dana is getting a native PS5 version as well. I think
one to get.
Yeah, I think East 8 is on everything now. I think that was the last platform.
Yeah, besides, actually, is it on Xbox now? I don't think it is.
I don't know. It's a JRPG,
but it's,
so probably
it's definitely on Vita, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and Switch.
Yeah.
This one has all of the DLC from all of those.
Oh, nice. Okay.
It's also locked at 120 FPS.
Wow.
Or you can get the 60 FPS at 4K.
Wow.
So
snazzy. All right.
This is the one to get.
The platform of choice, yeah.
Yeah, it'll be one more version that I buy of this game.
There you go. What's one more playthrough?
Yeah.
Call of Duty Warzone 2.0 comes out PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series consoles, and PC. You're not listening to the show for our hot takes on Warzone. I don't know what this. Do either of you guys know what this is?
It's supposed to be really good.
It comes to Game Pass.
Yeah, I don't. It's not my.
It's the huge update to Warzone because it's based on an engine that's like 7 games old now.
I think it finally takes it off the archaic coding.
Right. It's been 3 years, so it's 7 Call of Duty games.
I'm pretty sure that still has Unreal code in the Call of Duty engine. So I'm pretty sure they still have like id Software in their credits because they have to legally because of the code that's in those games.
Yeah, it's run some of that Quake 1 code.
Yeah, but this is one of those those resets where it's like it's 2.0 and none of your purchases come forward.
That's right. Oh no, weird. Anyways, yeah.
So anyway, how about this this shooting it 420 style sticker for your gun?
That's right.
$5, please.
It's $5 again. Yeah. Next game here is Goat Simulator 3. Comes out PS5, Series consoles, and PC.
I think you mean Dead Island 2.
That's right. I was just gonna say, like, boy, it's another Goat Simulator. I think we know what this is gonna be, and we probably don't. To be quite honest, I think this is one game series where it's like, no, you probably cannot assume where this thing is going to go. Watch your favorite streamer or YouTuber play this game here pretty soon, and LOL everywhere. I don't know. I'm tired.
In my case, wait for it to come to Game Pass and get all of the achievements.
That's right. Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales comes out on PC. Boy, the PC version of the Marvel Spider-Man looked and ran real great. So I'm glad they're bringing this out there as well. If you haven't played either one of these, they're great. Just check them out.
Yep.
The aforementioned Pokemon Scarlet and Violet are coming out on Switch. I know very little about these. They just showed off a bunch of new Pokemon, and then, like, I think it was a week ago or so, the ROMs for both games got leaked, so people have just been playing them and streaming them like crazy. So that's 2022. Yay! So 2 thumbs up. Last but certainly not least, the Dark Pictures anthology The Devil in Me comes out PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series consoles, and PC. These are always great. I will watch the Nextlander guys play these as well, because I am a giant chicken and they are funny and I like their stuff. But
is this the Man of Medan?
Yep. Yeah, that's the same series.
Okay.
I think this is the 4th one of these that's out.
So, yeah.
I think so. Yes.
They've been popping them out pretty quick.
Yeah, I'm happy they've continued to make these because these are cool, kind of not short experiences, but they're not super long for each one.
Didn't they also do the other one that came out recently?
The Quarry?
Yes.
Yeah. They've been killing it, man. Like,
that's like 2 games in like 3 months. Who do they think they are? The Life is Strange team?
Heyo.
Telltale Games?
Yeah, The Quarry is a huge game too. Like that was the game's impressive. Yeah. I don't know. Good on them. Whatever they're doing, it's working. All right, let's talk about news stories here. First news story: Control 2 is officially announced. Is another joint project from Remedy and 505 Games. They're going to be co-developing and co-publishing them on different platforms in different regions. Being developed for current gen consoles, which is the Series consoles and PS5. I don't want to hear it. And the personal computer.
Also, by the time this comes out, it will be ready for another controversy over the upgrade cost.
It's probably true. Yeah. Save your $10 on top of your $70. I think with the runaway success of the first one, this is super unsurprising. They did
it warm anybody else's cockles of their heart to hear Remedy talk about that frequently, that largely, and that positively?
Yeah.
Everything they've gone through?
Yeah. 100%. I mean, especially since I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, they said that the remaster of Alan Wake hasn't really sold well, which I guess isn't too surprising, unfortunately. That's a game that probably has a much longer tail on it than a big sale. But it's nice to see people say, like, hell yeah, Control is great. I'm signing up for this day one, which is also me. But
the good news is, by the time that comes out, Boston will learn to recognize the Poets of the Fall song that's in this game.
That's right. That's right. I'm doing my homework.
patreon.com/E1M1. Listen to Critical Misses.
Those ones are numbers. Yeah, I'm excited for this. This is also not the multiplayer Control game. That's a separate development. And this, I think they're working on 2 other games
Yeah, there's like a whole weird thing going on right
yeah,
now.
Remedy's also working on like 4 things right now. I think the multiplayer Control game they're developing with someone else, and I think the other 2 games, I don't remember if they've announced what those ones are.
Is there an Alan Wake 2 that was happening right now?
That was in the back of my mind, saying they're like, yeah, we're making another Alan Wake, but I don't remember if that's. I can't say for 100% whether or not that is. Moon, do you know?
Nope.
Okay. Yeah, I don't remember.
Maybe that was just the talk with the remaster stuff. Where it's like, oh, if this does really well, we'll do 2 or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't exactly remember, but they are definitely working on a whole bunch of stuff, which is great. Remedy makes great stuff, and it's happy to see them killing it.
I'm just super happy we're getting another one because I love that SBC dumb stuff. It's awesome.
I'm 100% day one for Control 2. I think the first Control is like one of the biggest pleasant surprises of the last generation, and I'm super excited.
I mean, it had issues at launch.
Oh, for sure, 100%.
It had really good lore.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
And I'm hoping. I know a lot of people have been seeing a lot of people talking about that they hope that they wrap up Alan Wake with this or wrap it in somehow a lot more.
Sure.
And I'm kind of hoping that they don't.
I mean, what they did in the first one was fine enough. Like that's
I'm
the
fine
amount
with
I want.
Another DLC kind of thing to kind of help further tie it together.
Right.
But I kind of want them to keep doing what they were doing, where it's like, hey, here's a weird anomaly. Mm-hmm. Have at it.
Yeah, the world of Remedy is a big enough size as it is right now.
Yeah.
Next news story here, and our last one here is Netflix has announced they're making a Gears of War live action film and a adult animated series, both of which are coming to Netflix. They said this is shocking. So Gears of War was released 16 years ago today, which did not realize it's been that long since we looked at all that juice. And they have partnered with the Coalition. And Van Helsing in chat, shut the hell up. I'm like not in the mood for any of this. They've partnered with the Coalition to get this stuff going. This one's interesting because out of every franchise out there, I'm not entirely sure that this is one I would have said, like, yeah, let's do a Gears of War. Maybe the animated one could be interesting, but, like, a live-action Gears of War movie does not seem like something... I'd be happy to eat my words. It
seems like an action movie.
Yeah, like, although I do agree with the internet, Dave Bautista should star in that because he's just, like, a side of beef that is Marcus Phoenix.
He's in Gears of War as well. So
yeah, he's in Gears of War 5 as himself.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, it's going to be deeply disappointed when none of these people look like beefcakes on the screen.
It's just Chris Hemsworth again. It's like, come on. Batista was right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Batista, Rock.
Yeah.
Maybe Vin Diesel for one of the little thin jokey guys who doesn't have much muscle.
One of the tiny guy. One of the tiny guys. Yeah.
Carmine.
Yeah. But this is one of those that, like, I think Gears of War is cool. I've enjoyed all those games, but it seems like it's an interesting one to pick to make, especially like a live action one. And it's another one that it's kind of surprising after like how the Resident Evil one kind of landed and flopped, and Netflix cut that very quickly. It's surprising that any video game thing would be like, well, I'm going to sign up with Netflix. We didn't even get a first season. What? Interesting.
If they're going to cover like before Emergence Day, or if they're just going to cover the games, or if they're going to cover it after the games, or
did they cover the wars beforehand, whatever they were called?
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
It's like that would be kind of a good place to start, because I know that the games covered it, but they don't go very in depth about it.
Yeah.
And then you can kind of forgive them not having massive beefcakes on screen because they haven't really messed with that stuff yet.
Right. Yeah, like how much do you get into the lore of Gears of War, which is not always the strongest stuff. So I don't know, it seemed like it worked.
E-Day is the hotness. Come on.
Right. I don't know. I mean, it seemed like it sort of worked well for Halo, kind of taking a different approach on some of that stuff and telling a different story than I think they would have expected. So I don't know. It's one of those things on paper I'm not entirely sure that I would pick, but I'd like to see it succeed. I'd like to see more cool video game stuff out there that kind of works.
Have either of you guys read any of the Gears of War books?
No.
I've gone down the rabbit hole on Halo, but not on Gears.
That's just what I was sitting here wondering. Is like, because the Halo books, I've read all of those, and those are really good. And I'm wondering if the Gears books are good as well.
I feel like I haven't really heard anything about them, so at least it's probably safe to say they aren't terrible. Because I feel like whenever there's a terrible video game book that comes out, people are just like posting pages and pages of it on Twitter. Yeah.
Maybe I'll go on a deep dive of those anyway.
Yeah, I'm assuming this will be kind of a ways off because they didn't. I feel like if Netflix is well into production, they announce kind of like, here's this thing and here's the cast, or at least like 5 or 6 people from the cast, and they didn't announce any of that. So I'm assuming this is probably quite a few years off at this point. So
probably.
We'll see.
We'll see if it turns into vaporware.
That's right. Yeah. All right. That's all our news stories, which means that's our episode for this week. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. If you'd like to visit us, you can do so at tvgp.tv. Everywhere to find and follow us is on the right-hand side of the page. And please don't forget Patreon, patreon.com/E1M1.
Those ones are the digits.
Your financial support over there helps us run the show and pay for all the hosting. It is not cheap, but it also does not put suspicious ads for pills automatically in the show. Which I greatly appreciate. So everybody wins. And that way I can put chapter markers in here and the ads don't mess with it. So
hey, don't take a job at the next lender, guys. They got it tough already. Their Patreon is nothing compared to ours, clearly.
No, I feel for them for anybody that has to put ads in there sort of auto-injected, because it's tough. But your financial support definitely does help. If you'd like to support us non-financially, I'm looking at you, Moonpear. You could help the show by...
I have no idea what you're talking about.
By sharing stuff online. Telling your friends. Word of mouth especially is super huge for anything you watch or listen to or enjoy or anything that you enjoy online. That stuff really genuinely does help, along with rating the show 5 stars or higher. If you can like hack the page to rate it 7 stars out of 5, that'd be even better. Don't hack any websites, please. All of that stuff genuinely does help, and we do really appreciate it. And another plug here for the YouTube channel. We don't talk about it often enough, but everything we record audio of, we record video, even if we don't live stream it. So if you want to watch a video of all that stuff, all of it's over on the YouTube channel. And I think that's it. So we'll see you all next week. Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
You've got mail. Oh, man. There you go, Feyre. If you can't spare a dollar, spare a holler. Thank you.
But what if you're not a hollaback girl?
Well, I don't know what to tell you then. All right, Nymph. What titles do you have?
I have It Was Agatha. Believe in the power of the cards. And That's How You Do a Barrel Roll. Dollar Store Kenzie. Mixing Milk with Milk. And Lull Everywhere.
All right, Moon, what do you have?
I'm up to level 300. Everything old is new again. Done dirty by a movement deck. I like the alliteration in there. Good luck if you choose that, trying to get that out in one clean take.
Uh-huh.
I didn't say interesting. use every part of the Taurus, shooting it 420 style, and I am Carmine.
Forgot about use every part of the Taurus. Use every part of the Taurus. I have mixing milk with milk. It was Agatha, done dirty with a movement deck, and use every part of the Taurus. I like all 4 of these. Just like out of the problem.
I like mixing milk with milk.
I think that one's a real solid one.
It is very non sequitur.
Yeah.
I'm good with any of them. My preference is probably use every part of the Taurus, but milk with milk is fine too.
Yeah, I'm kind of leaning more towards mixing milk with milk.
All right.
I shall circle it. Wow, okay. Locked and loaded.
Because this is a real life example of something I thought I'd never have to say out loud to somebody.
Oh no. Yay, parenthood.
No, it wasn't parenting, unfortunately.
Oh, no.
Fortunately for me.
Yeah.
I really shouldn't have Googled what I thought what I Googled.
Are you on a website that you
It's
show
safe search
the rest
on?
of us?
I was trying to make sure that, like, if you mix almond milk with oat milk, it doesn't turn into, like, napalm or anything.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
You don't just make straight ammonia.
Right.
Yeah, like bleach and urine.
No, you fool! Yeah.
But no, it's like, is it okay to mix almost / expired milk with regular milk? It's like, no.
I appreciate the line of thought you were going with, but it's no.
Just add water. You're obviously just trying to dilute it. You might as well just
That's
make it miserable all the way.
Yeah. Oh my god. Okay. I have that living in my head now.
Yeah, exactly. Have fun with that. Just think of it like the fresh milk starting to bubble as the out-of-date milk curdles in with it and just slowly but surely turns into a brand new jar of yogurt. It's great.
No, the best part is going to be is when you mix them together and then you see them separating.
Oh, God. Yep. Oh.
Don't drink from the top. Boston doesn't feel well this week.
Yeah, so I'm just like...
Great visual images for you.
Sorry, you guys ready?
I think I'm ready.
Okay. All right. Starting in 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 786 for November 14th, 2022. Mixing Will. Nope.
There we
go.
Let
me try that again.
I'm so glad we didn't pick the Done Dirty by
I got through that one. I got through that one first take in rehearsal. I can't say
the easy
milk.
Ones that get you.
Milk. Take 2. Starting in 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 786 for November 14th, 2022. Mixing milk with milk.
Don't put that white water in my full fat.
No, if you mix 2% and 1%, it does not make 3%. I had to tell that to an adult.
That's it. That killed me. I'm dead. Bleh. Goodbye, TVGP.
Wouldn't it be like logically though? Wouldn't it be like minus
1.5%?
0.5?
Yeah,
like 0.5%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Pythagorean's milk theorem or something. Yeah.
There's another show title.
And there's the show title.
That's right.
Yeah.
Boston.
There we go. Peace. All right. Thanks everyone for listening and watching. We greatly appreciate it. See you all next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.